And so she brings up N.T. Wright. And let's listen to what she says. She says, one other thought is the hermeneutic more of an issue in pop culture. I don't believe scholars use this hermeneutic you're concerned with, at least as I understand it, without also taking into account the grammar as well as Paul's approach in other passages. Scholars such as N.T. Wright may make mention of the cult of Diana. And this would be, okay, so N.T. Wright and other scholars, when they mention the cult of Diana as a backdrop to the numerous, and I mean numerous, in various different letters, Paul's response to or commands concerning women in teaching, what N.T. Wright is using here is a socio-rhetorical hermeneutic. He is not necessarily using a historical grammatical interpretation. That's socio-rhetorical, because there's no evidence that we have that Paul is actually speaking to the cult of Diana or things that are going on within the cult of Diana. There's none of that. We have no evidence of that at all.
It's plausible. It's a speculation, though. I mean, sometimes that's the best we can do is speculate. So the question, though, is my application of what Paul's saying dependent on the speculative framework?
Okay, hang on just a second.
Is it subject to it?
Right, and here's the thing is that she says scholars such as N.T. Wright may make mention of the cult of Diana, but he certainly doesn't hang his hat on it. Actually, he does, and here's the reason why. Because N.T. Wright, what he has done is he has taken his socio-rhetorical interpretation mentioning the cult of Diana, but then he has taken other roles and totally misappropriated them when it comes to women in ministry. What he does is he takes the role of a witness, he takes the role of a prophet, he takes the role of, other roles that women certainly can perform in, and he says, see, look, all these other roles. And so then, but even if N.T. Wright says, see, women are in these other roles. Okay, well, you still have to deal with all of the passages that Paul, and there are many of them, where Paul talks about women not being in ministry. And basically what he has to do is he has to say, well, we're not hearing the other side of the conversation. There's something else going on here. And so this is the exact same. And so the point of
which expands the canon, really.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, with an unknown. With a variable.
Yeah. And so the point is that this is the same hermeneutic. So a socio-rhetorical hermeneutic certainly can be used sometimes. Sometimes we do use socio-rhetorical hermeneutics. We do. But to now take a socio-rhetorical hermeneutic and try to span it across multiple books and multiple conversations that Paul's saying and say this is the backdrop for all of it. This is exactly what those who are in LGBTQ apologetics are trying to do. They're saying, see, look, no. What you're misunderstanding about homosexuality is that in the ancient world, there was no such thing as a monogamous homosexual relationship. That just didn't exist. And so really what Paul's talking about when, in the New Testament, when he talks about homosexuality, really what Moses is talking about, all of those are just what they're talking about. They're talking to specific cultural issues. And so really, we just have to read it within that cultural context. So if we read it in that cultural context, guess what? Now, all of a sudden, we come into the 21st century and homosexuality is much more accepted. People are in monogamous relationships. And so now all of those passages don't really apply because culturally it's different. And so now, since God loves and he wants everybody else to love, and since homosexuals can be in monogamous, loving relationships, none of those passages apply. That's exactly what's happening when you try to say that women can be elders, is that you're taking all of these different passages and you're saying, oh, no, that's just it's just, we're only getting one side of the conversation. There's another side of the conversation. We don't know exactly what it is. In fact, there's no evidence of another conversation at all. There's none, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to say that it's all just part of another conversation. At some point you have to say, no, this is the command of God, whether you like it or not. And so we need to uphold it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.